Shalom, family. We're just going to give, just a few minutes for everybody to come in before we get started. So I'm going to, just give it a few minutes. Shalom, family. Shalom to everybody coming in. Shalom, family, to everybody coming into the chat. All right. I'm going to be doing this one solo. There won't be any panel with me. Shalom to everybody. All right. Yeah, social media is going wild right now. Going completely wild, y'all. Ooh. All right. We're always under attack. Every single day we are under attack, y'all. And we're not provoking this stuff. We're not. But we know we are always the main target on their minds. And it just goes to show you how much they think about us on a 24-hour cycle. Nothing have to even be going on for them to attack us. And I did a podcast also. Let me put the link to it so you guys can go out there and listen to the podcast that I just put out there. Let me get the link. I'll get that for you. Oh, yeah. You know me, I was fired up when I heard about this stuff, because it happens so frequently. This is not no isolated incident. No, it was not a slip of the tongue, August Dreams. We know what this is. This is your racism 101. This is what mainstream news is. We know what it is. And we can't trust our stories in the hands of mainstream media. This is why the new Black media is very important out here. This is how they've been talking about us for centuries. Go back in the 17 and 1800s and look at the papers. They never had anything good to say about us, dead or alive. So we can't expect that to happen now. So those of you that might not have heard, I'm sure most of you heard what happened from Allison Morris, an MSNBC reporter. I guess she forgot she wasn't around her own people, and she blurted out Los Angeles niggers. And we know why they said that, because look, the vast majority of the ball players on the NBA are Black, ladies and gentlemen. You know that. And she knows it too. And a lot of this talk is straight jealousy. Okay, they watch those guys run up and down with the ball. They got talent. They're making incomes they know they will never see in their lifetime. And it's just pure jealousy. It really is. Let's face it. Don't nobody want to see a bunch of white guys running up and down the court, because they don't even have a fraction of the talent. Nobody wants to see them. When they watch those games, they come to see the Black talent. They're not looking for them. And they know it. And it's all just straight up jealousy, y'all. That's all. They always have been jealous and always will be. It's a fact. It's a damn fact. And we see this all the time. All the time. But see, when we talk about race, why does everything got to be race? Well, why do you keep talking about it? Why do you keep doing it? No, maybe we need to throw that back in their face. Now, who did anything to her? She's talking about a man that was deceased. Colby's death took us all by surprise. But they make it all about race. And then we respond, and then we get told we're talking about race. Fuck you. No, we're going to talk about it because this whole society keeps talking about it, and you keep perpetuating it on a regular basis, and at the same time telling us you don't want to hear about it. Well, how unrealistic is that? That's unrealistic. You created this monster, so now you deal with it. We're not going to make you feel good about yourself. You can get the hell out of here with that mess. That's not what we're here for. But yeah, she know what she was saying. Look, whenever they're in the company of their own people, ladies and gentlemen, this is how they talk. This is how they talk. And I'm sure the Los Angeles Lakers are not the only team they refer to as niggers. We know that. You would have to be naive not to realize that. And they don't even take nothing into consideration. Right now, Colby may have family all over the country. They're trying to get updates on what happened, and they could be sitting there watching MSNBC and hearing this crap. One day his kids are going to grow up and may go back and listen to how things were reported when their father died. Now, it's not just this incident, ladies and gentlemen. They're also bringing up the 2003 sexual assault. Okay. Here we go. All right, so they're also bringing up that sexual assault from 2003. And that was settled out of court. But you know how it is. When a black man dies, they want to bring up all his deeds and everything that has happened. They want to bring it all up. So they're doing that as well. So, ladies and gentlemen, the bottom line is, we have been dealing with this kind of stuff forever. We know we have, and this is going to go on. But the mainstream news is just proving that they are nothing but a bunch of white supremacists on the air. But we already knew this. Look, we know this is what they are because, anytime there's a police shooting, they always find a way to always be on the police officer side. Oh, the cops are never wrong in America. Oh my God, that's unheard of, them being wrong. And we saw how they reported on Trayvon Martin. We saw how they reported on Tamir Rice. They tried to say he looked like he was 21. You look at his little face, he looked like a 12-year-old. Just like he was 12. They tried to say Bill Cosby was faking his blindness. He wasn't blind, he was faking. See, this is what we get out of the mainstream news. Yeah, they never stopped dragging Michael Jackson, dead or alive. Right. And then they insult our intelligence. Whenever there's a police shooting, you see an unarmed black man complying and get shot. And they gonna tell you what you saw on the video. No, don't go by your two eyes. Go by what I say. What kind of garbage is that? Yes, Mike Brown too. And 2 years after the Mike Brown shooting, they admitted he didn't do nothing wrong. Alton Sterling. I mean, the list is endless. Philando Castile. But they couldn't find nothing on him. But they tried to demonize him, though. You know, but what else can you expect from mainstream news? And this is why I really pray that our people will eventually turn it off. You know, as long as you keep giving them ratings, they're going to remain on the air. Everything they do is about ratings. If you cut their ratings off, they're not going to have a choice but to remove a lot of this shit that's on TV. I mean, they report the news like the damn Klan, and they always have. So, ladies and gentlemen, support the Black media that's online. You know, because we're the only ones that's going to do our people justice when we report these stories. Mainstream news is never going to do it. They don't give a damn about our people. And they show it every single day. I mean, how many times do they have to keep? Yeah, exactly, August Dream. Remember the Diamond Reynolds and the mayor tried to say she was going to do all the money up in crack, and the woman don't even do drugs. But see, we have always gotten the negative side of mainstream news. We have always gotten that. And that's the biggest reason why I shut it off, y'all. And I never went back to watching it on a regular basis because I got sick of all of the negative reporting on the Black community, day in and day out, over and over and over. Everything wrong with the Black community, everything wrong with Black people, everything wrong, even when they're reporting on Black individuals. I'm sick of it. Yeah, Sandra Bland too, absolutely. You know, and I'm sick of it. So I turned that mess off. I get the majority of my news online. If I do watch mainstream news, it may be through a video that I come across online, but I don't sit in front of an actual television anymore and watch mainstream news because they're never going to give us any decent coverage. They're never going to do that. Yeah, you have to turn it off. I mean, why would you pay money to be insulted on a regular basis? Because that's what our people are doing when you keep mainstream news on. You're allowing them to insult us on a regular basis. And I'm done with that. I'm so over mainstream news. It's not even funny. And it's not really news anyway. They all read off of the same script. You know, you can watch the videos where they do the reports. They're reading from the same damn script. They're just personalities. They're not really reporters. That's all they are. That's not real reporting that we're getting. And then they have all those stupid ass shows where they're trying to sway the way you think and how you feel about a story. That's just a personality. That is not real reporting. You know, that is complete garbage. So I'm going to go ahead and play the audio just in case some of you did not hear what Allison Morris said. I have it right here. Let's see if this. Okay, did they remove this? Okay, here we go. All right. Here we go.
Perfectly cast on the Los Angeles Lakers computer. If I could ask you to stay with us, we're going to go.
I'm going to play it again. I mean, clip is only like 7 seconds.
perfectly cast on the Los Angeles Lakers community. If I could ask you to stay with us, we're going to go.
All right. So you heard that, right? Y'all heard that, right? Y'all heard that, right? The Los Angeles NWord, right? Thank you, Nature Knows. Thank you so much. So we're not hearing things, but you know what, ladies and gentlemen? We know what's coming in the next 24 hours, right? We know what's coming. I'm not a racist. I'm not. I don't know why I said that. I love everybody. I don't know why I said that. I just want to apologize. I know I hurt the Black community, but I just want to apologize to everybody. We know what's coming. We know what's coming. And you know what, y'all? I don't forgive her. I ain't forgiving nothing. I am sick of this shit. We shouldn't have to forgive this all the time. Now, it's one thing if we're forgiving it and it stops. It's counterproductive forgiving something and it continues on. Then what's the purpose? Then keep your apology to yourself. If this shit's going to continue on after you put out there how sorry you are. And that's exactly what happens in American society. These things happen. And don't forget, y'all, remember the weather reporter that said Martin Luther King? Remember that? I think that was like 2 years ago. Martin Luther King. You know, these things are happening on purpose. You know? But no, I'm not forgiving anything. I'm done with that forgiveness stuff. It's counterproductive. It leads to nothing. And how much forgiveness can we actually give to these people? After a while, it's like, the hell with it. Forgive for what? What's the purpose in all of this? See, this is why I can't get down with Christianity for that reason. Because, you know, there is nowhere in the scripture that says you got to forgive everything these Gentiles do. It's not there. You know? Oh no, they're going to be diving in to protect her. You know, this thing is going to be like everything. It's going to be along racial lines. We know how it's going to work. It's all going to be along racial lines. The white people are all going to defend. She didn't mean it. Yes, she did. Yes, she did. She meant every word. And, you know, like I said, this is how they talk when we're not present. Then they will come public and forget where they are. I've seen them even do this stuff at work, y'all. I've seen them do this on the job. They'll get all comfortable, forget where they are, forget that they're in mixed company, and then they will say something completely racist. I've seen it so many times. It's not even funny. But it just go to show you, these folks talk about us on a 24-hour cycle. The obsession is a very sick one. It's a sick obsession. You know, at this point, I don't even have much respect for even the Black reporters / personalities on TV, because when these things happen, they'll just sit there and try to comfort her and feel sorry for her and say, oh, I don't think she meant that. Fuck you. You know, what side are you on already? But this is what we will get. We'll get the fake out apology by tomorrow, y'all. We'll get the fake out apology by tomorrow, and they'll have her acting all teary-eyed and sorry, and she may shed a few tears and dab her eyes with a tissue, and then everything will go back on to Racism 101 all over mainstream news like it always does. You know? Yeah, I know she's already apologizing. Screw her apology. Screw her apology. We know where that came from. We know exactly where that came from. All of that racism passed down through the generations. And that just go to show you how low she thinks of Black people. If she didn't feel that way, she would not have said something like that in the first place. There's no cleaning that up at this point. Yeah, she had a stupid moment, S-Mac. She had a stupid moment. But I'm sorry. Why is it that we are expected to always take the high road? Why? Why? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, she said what they, like I said, what she said is how they talk about us when we're not around. That's all. That's all. It's nothing more, nothing less. So whenever anything happens to people in our community, it's up to us to get the word out the way we want it to be out. And it's so many of us doing news stories online, and we're making an impact because trust me, they're watching us. They're listening to us. And they know what we're saying on our channels because they watch it probably more than my subscribers are watching my stuff. They are watching it too. But what they don't like is we are reaching far more people online than they are in mainstream news. The only thing mainstream news need to do is die and go away. That's really it. We don't need the likes of mainstream news around us anymore. Not that we ever needed them around us, ever. No, I'm tired of us taking the high road. We are always the ones that are supposed to be diplomatic when these things happen, but they can be as unruly as they want. And you're talking about the death of an NBA player, a former NBA player, and on top of that, it was an untimely death. But that's what you put out there for and the thing is, once you speak that, it's out there for good. It doesn't matter even if they edit the clip at this point in time, because it's all over social media. It really won't make any difference at all. But ladies and gentlemen, that's all I wanted to say so that we could, just come together and just talk about this kind of stuff, because we know this is the world we live in. We don't live in some fakery world. This is the one we live in. This is it. So if you didn't get over to my podcast, I'm going to post it here again. And then you can get over there. How you doing, Craig J? And y'all can take a listen to it. I just put it out there. Hasn't even been out there for a good hour yet. But I'm just too through with mainstream news. All of them. It doesn't matter what network it is. That's really irrelevant. They are all one big white supremacist at the end of the day. That's what they are. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for coming. And as always, wherever you are in this world or in this country, please enjoy the rest of your evening. And we'll definitely be coming back to do updates on this, because they still did not publish all of the names of everybody on the helicopter You know, we do know Kobe is gone. We know his 13-year-old daughter. She died. Now, I've heard so many rumors, and poor Rick Fox had to come out and say he did not die in the helicopter crash. He wasn't there. So I did see that. He did a news conference. That's a shame that he had to do that. I don't even know how his name got thrown around in the first place, but it did. And so we know just of two people, Colby and his daughter. The other three, they have not announced who they are. You know, I even heard that because his daughter actually played basketball in school. And, you know, I heard a rumor that was one of her teammates on her basketball team. Now, I'm like, you know what? At this point, I don't even want to put nothing out there until we get all of the names. Once we get that, then I can go ahead and update my video on that family. So, everybody, thank you for coming, and shalom.